Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is Troy from Cichlid Bros. Behind me here I have my 180 gallon South American cichlid tank. I've had this tank for 1 full year now, and in this video I'm going to walk through the progression of this tank during that time. I'm going to talk through the aquascape, the filtration, all the fish I've added and removed over this time, and future plans for the tank. I'm also going to talk about the tank itself and what I do and don't like about it. Before we get started, I also wanted to mention that our next video is going to probably be our biggest project and setup we've done on this channel. We've been super excited and trying not to spoil it, but we have dropped hints on our videos and our Instagram. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that video that's going to be posted this Sunday. And guys, let's dive right in. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about this tank is the aquascape. There were a few things I really loved and a few things I might change about this aquascape. First, the light brown sand was one of the best choices I've made. It's not as light as white sand, which can sometimes dull the colors of these types of cichlids, and it's not black sand, which can sometimes show every speck of debris or waste. And second, the driftwood pieces in this tank have been perfect. I like how they reach up towards the top of the tank and provide some natural overhangs and hiding spots for these cichlids. Even though I had pre-soaked the driftwood, the first few months of this tank had quite a bit of tannins in the water, which I just personally wasn't a huge fan of. After adding ChemiPure Blue to my filters, the tank cleared up basically overnight, and it's been pristine ever since. I had a few comments on the setup of this tank, and I just wanted to address those real quick. There were a lot of comments saying, how could you do fake plants, and that's such a terrible choice. But I really don't think any of those people realized that these cichlids would eat and destroy any live plants I put in this tank. I've tested it, and it's just not worth the time and money. I might trade out a few of the shorter plants for taller ones soon though. I really like the plants in the back left and this Amazon sword in the middle that reach closer to the top of the tank. For the filtration on this tank, I started off with one FX6 and one Pinplax canister filter. Knowing a lot of these cichlids were growing fast and would make a mess down the line, I'm looking at you, Nessie, I decided to upgrade the Pinplax to a second FX6 canister filter a few months back. I also upgraded my wave pump from an old cheap one to a Cichlid Extreme, which has a much wider, gentle flow. Wave pumps can help circulate the water to avoid dead spots where debris could accumulate and ultimately help your filters do their job just a little better. Wave pumps can also help oxygenate your tank if they're pointed upward, breaking the surface tension to allow for gas exchange. The upgraded filter and wave pump together prepared this tank for the extra bioload that was soon to come as these cichlids got larger. Since I set this tank up 1 year ago, there's been some stocking changes over that year. The most unfortunate part was losing my Gymnogeophagus balzani named Shadow. It was one of my all-time favorite fish, and I lost it due to unknown reasons. I had an update video on this tank during that time where I explained what I thought went wrong there, but it was a pretty devastating loss and it took a while to get past it. But obviously that's a part of the hobby and you just have to move forward. I also removed the keyhole cichlid from this tank when I was adding the big true parrot and at the time a very small Oscar. I was worried that the bigger fish could eventually pick off the keyhole, so I made that swap in August of last year. The true parrot was already the biggest fish when I put it in this tank, and it still is today at about 10 inches in length. As you can see, the Oscar was really small at this point, maybe about 3 inches in total length, and now he's pushing 9 inches and he's just an awesome fish. A few months after that, I added my chocolate cichlid, Bigfoot, and that's been the stocking in this tank for over the past 7 months. Everyone has grown a ton as they near their adult sizes, and overall it's been a very peaceful tank. I've had the Geophagus Topahos for about 2.5 years now, and they seem to look better with more red and blue color each day. I've even seen some attempts at breeding among this group, but I don't think there's enough privacy in this tank for them to do their thing. I've considered giving one of the pairs a separate tank to allow for some of that breeding, but I also don't want to break up this group of 7 that I've had together for so long. I guess we'll just have to see how it goes. My 3 Severns are doing great, and they're still my favorite cichlids, with Big Red here being my all-time number 1. He's been the tank boss for a long time, but I think the Oscar is going to be taking that spot soon. At about 9 inches long now, as mentioned, he's already caught up to the true parrot. The true parrot is named Blue just because he looks like the raptor in Jurassic World. Blue! Rounding out the tank is my Jurapari, who's also about 2.5 years old now and just an awesome peaceful cichlid. And then I have my female Geophagus Steindachnerai, who's about 2 years old now. And then lastly, my Black Acara. Might be my favorite non-cichlid in the hobby, my Bala shark named Bruce.
Hello.
He has been an awesome tank mate for these cichlids, and he's about 9 inches now himself. Overall, I don't have any plans to add or remove fish for the foreseeable future here. I just plan to watch this tank grow and evolve over time. And then finally, the tank itself. What do I like? What did I not like about the tank? What would I do differently? This is a 180-gallon acrylic aquarium. It's a sea clear, clear for life that I ordered on fishtankdirect.com. I bought this specific tank due to the tight fit to get it down my stairs to my basement, and then I went with acrylic since it was lighter and easier to maneuver down. I do really like the look of the tank, but by far the most frustrating part is cleaning off the acrylic. It's pretty much impossible to get all the algae off the front panel without leaving a few scratches. I've meticulously cleaned this off by hand, which takes forever, and I have still left a couple scratches that you can only see in person if you look really closely, but I am definitely OCD about it, so it does bother me. I would have liked to go with high quality glass instead, but then again, I'm not sure we could have gotten it down my stairs in the first place. Overall, I'm just being a bit picky, and it is a great tank that I know will last me a very long time, so I will say I'm just very happy with the tank itself and everything that's going on inside of it. Here are some more clips of this tank's progression over the past year. So that does it for today's video, and just one last reminder to keep an eye out for that video next weekend. Can't wait to post it and finally share this. It's been a secret between me and my brothers, and it's just been an awesome project to work on, so stay tuned for that. If you have any questions about this 180-gallon aquarium that I didn't answer today, make sure to leave those down in the comments section and I'll be sure to get back to you. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next week.